Josh Stevens.
MZ, Michael Zwerling.
May I ask you a personal question?
Oh, you actually have one today.
Where is Dave Michaels?
He's hungover. He is just not here. He's taken a sick day. For all I know.
Oh, wow.
No, I actually don't know any of this for fact.
Oh.
I'm just speculating.
Oh. Okay, so you haven't heard from him. Yeah, he's usually here for a...
Now, may I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
Did you miss me?
Yes.
Just wasn't the same.
It was terrible.
How so?
No, it wasn't terrible. I know what you're talking about. I would say, did I miss you? You know, because you weren't running the board last. You weren't the pilot in command last Saturday special. Dave Michaels was.
Yeah, I wasn't your sidekick.
Oh yeah, yeah. So what happened to you?
Oh, well, basically, I had covered the morning show, and basically it was like...
That's right. It was a crazy week, huh?
Yeah, that it was, but I had fun. It was my first time on Rosie's show. I had a blast. I see a Flight 1080 jacket in the background, so that could be Dave Michaels.
No, it's Richard B. Luther II.
Dang it.
Our esteemed engineer.
But yes, I had fun on my day off there. I went for a beautiful hike, and it was 8 miles total.
Hey.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, Josh Stevens, huh?
Yeah, no. That was the second time doing that up at San Juan Bautista, and that time it did not kick my butt as much as the first time because I had not gone for many walks of that length in a long time.
Well, that's really good. That I don't usually go that long. I have, but I don't like it.
Yeah, I've got a lucky lady in my life pushing me to do that. So
really?
That's why.
Oh, so with the lucky lady.
Absolutely.
This is cool. You know, there is nothing to... I mean, that's just amazing. That's good and wonderful. I am going to read my email. Do you think... do you know who Mike Lindell is, right?
The name rings a bell.
Yeah, the My Pillow guy who's on commercials every, 5 minutes. I mean, I think there's more My Pillow ads on all the media than there is content on any of these programs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you agree with me, or do you think I'm exaggerating?
No, I've heard their commercial somewhere in both mediums, both radio and TV.
Yeah. He is an amazing guy who used to be a crack cocaine addict. And he went from that to CEO, and he's very religious, and he's a big Trump supporter. And a very big Trump supporter and a very successful Trump supporter. And Trump has said nice things about him every opportunity, or during many opportunities that when Trump was in the news a lot. And now Mike Lindell has come out swinging in favor of Trump and what he says happened to Trump. And I'm inclined to agree. Now, am I going to be canceled because I said something that I'm not supposed to say? Is KSCO going to be canceled? I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. Like another great Trump supporter, Lou Dobbs, was canceled yesterday on Fox Business Channel. His show is no more. And the reason stated was, well, wait a minute. I don't want to speak out of turn. All I know is that it was canceled. What's the matter, Josh Stevens? You're slapping your knee like there's something really hysterical.
Because, like, I got a name, I got a number, and I'm just like, I look at the number, and I'm like, that's not the name. But I feel like you've got some sort of joke coming your way whenever you head to the phones.
Oh, okay. Especially the first time on the Saturday, the first call on the Saturday special, and we haven't even invited calls. But we have David Frost from heaven. Okay. Hello, David Frost from heaven.
What a marvelous program. I was just masturbating over Richard Nixon interviews, and I decided to give you a call. It's a very lovely day up there. I imagine it's very lovely down there, too.
Now, what, have you called to wreck my program? What's the deal here? Josh Stevens, you're laughing hysterically.
No, not at all. I am the master of thievery. I wouldn't do that to you. I just thought that it was a lovely, lovely, lovely day up here, and I have heard massive stories about your program, and I thought it would be lovely to give you a call. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about, actually.
Nor do I.
Yes, but you are a lovely host. I've heard a lot about you, and I think you are wonderful.
Well, I rarely get compliments, but thank you very much. I remember.
No. I don't not giving you a compliment. I'm giving you a fact. I think you're extraordinarily talented, and I love the way you commiserate with the listeners on the air. I listen to you get your signal up here very well because it's a clear line up here in the heavens. But I must let you go. I know you have a full board, and that I enjoy listening to your lovely program.
Oh, thank you, David. I enjoyed the TW3 shows in the mid-'60s that you used to do.
Wait. Oh, you like that, huh?
Yes.
People said that was extraordinary, too. I think what I did about those shows is that the fact that it was not orchestrated. It was very, very stream of consciousness and matter of fact. You know, people gave me grievingness about the Nixon stuff, and they even made a movie out of it. They didn't even ask me about whether or not I granted them permission about Dick Nixon. Dick Nixon was a huge deal in my life, but I didn't even know about it. So I compliment you and the other masses of people that liked that movie because I did the best I could. You know, it was a big Dick Nixon, you know.
Yes. You did interview.
I used to call him Big Dick Nixon. Get it? Big Dick Nixon. He made a rather big fool of himself. I didn't even get involved in that, but I called him Big Dick. Get it? Big Dick Nixon. It was extraordinarily enthralling on my part, and I didn't even make a big deal about it. But they said, hey, we want to make a movie about it, and I didn't even ask for permission. Can you believe that? What a bunch of bastards.
That is amazing, huh?
All right. Well, I will be having some corned beef hash and some ginger ale. I'm going to let you go, and I love the fact that you do this program. Santa Cruz should be proud of you. I used to take the mom over to Santa Cruz every other time we crossed the pond. I came over to see Big Dick Nixon and KSCO. It's a lovely, lovely station. All right.
I thank you very much. I appreciate hearing from you. There goes
David Frost or Corky.
But wait a minute. From heaven. Is David Frost still? I think he's still living, isn't he?
Maybe he's
the real David Frost. Will you get the answer to that question? Yeah. Will you get the answer to that?
Yes.
Okay.
2013.
He did die.
He did expire, yes.
Oh, okay. I guess I missed that. Geez, that's sort of a long time ago. That's like 7-8 years ago. All right. Well, it's always nice to get a call from someone who has expired.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we were talking about, someone sent me Mike Lindell's video, which is absolute proof. And it's 2 hours long. I watched about, 20 minutes of it. It's pretty interesting, and it does have some fascinating evidence that the election was not a true election. And I have to measure every word here, Josh Stevens, because, we don't want KSCO to be canceled. And there are, like, what's his name? Lou Dobbs was canceled. I never thought Lou Dobbs would be canceled, but he was canceled, and the only thing people can think of is that he joined that whole group of people who are convinced that the election was stolen from Donald Trump. And as a result, anybody who espouses that, who dares to espouse that possibility or even belief, with or without proof, is canceled.
Sure, but let's stick to one key fact here.
Okay.
You run this place. Do you really think that you could get canceled out of your own station?
That's a very good question. That's a very good. You wouldn't think, because I kept getting canceled out of this station. I was thrown out of KSCO. It was either 3 or 4 times before I realized that I had to buy the place in order to not be kicked out of it, right? But times are different now. You know, there's so much power in big tech, and there's so much power in the Congress, in both houses of Congress now, and the presidency. I mean, look at a total reversal in like 2 weeks, a total reversal of the direction the country was headed. You know, can it be that there are really more people who don't want the United States to be energy independent? Can that be? And can it possibly be that there are more people who don't want people to have the right to defend themselves with guns? Can that be? And can it be that there are really more people in this country who believe that speech should be controlled? I just can't buy into any of that. Can you, Josh Stevens?
Not at all.
Oh, okay. Well, you better watch your ass, young man. You know, you better not from me, but other forces much greater than little old me. You know, could have a target on you now. You know, because you just said uttered those 3 words, not at all. Not at all. Okay, so we really should start the program. Dave Michaels, you are there.
I just got here, MZ. I just got here.
Terrible traffic, huh?
Traffic was horrible. Some clown job decided that right now was a good time to do some tree trimming.
Oh.
Yeah, Highway 1 was just a mess. Now, if you're listening to this on a replay, that's not the case, most likely. You know, you can always find traffic reports at the top of the hour. Oftentimes, this show replays on Fridays. So I'm out here every Saturday, today as well, from 10 to 2, finishing up our sale, MZ. Now, I've heard that this could possibly extend into next week. I don't know if that's true or not, but I am out there today.
You decide whether it's true or not.
Yeah, well, that's the plan, is to be out there next week as well. But supplies won't last until next week. That's not guaranteed. What is guaranteed that is if you stop by today, being Saturday, between 10 and 2, you're going to get a fantastic deal. As always, you're going to get a fantastic deal.
And you know, in the canisters, they have the new 2.5
Right.
BTT. And I've had, usually when they improve something, it goes the other way with me. I mean, that's been my, you know, experience in life. You know, an improvement is not an improvement. But actually, I like them both very much. I like the 2.0 and the 2.5. What do you think? Do you have a preference?
I've tried the 2.5 once, and I brought it today to, so this way I can try it out there in the cave. I've been using the 2.0 for so long. I was kind of hesitant to.
Yeah, that's great. And the 2.5, I think you said it's a little more tropical.
It's got a tropical flavor to it, and it's got more folates added to it, which is better for your skin and things like that. Nothing has been subtracted from it, though. It's only better, and they changed the taste.
Yeah,
put a bigger scoop.
And put a bigger scoop. Yes, that's fine. Yeah, I love it, but I love the others too. We have a huge supply of the individual packets.
Oh, yeah.
That are real easy and convenient to just have with you, and just you know, add it to your water anywhere, or shake it up with bottled water.
Right, and those are the original 2.0. That's the original 2.0 flavor.
Absolutely delicious.
Absolutely, MZ. So I'll be out there till 2 o'clock today. I'll be out there all next week from 12 till 7, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yeah.
Unless this is a replay, then you want to call 218-KSCO to find out.
If this is a replay, then call that. And you could call that anyhow and just...
Sure, you can call that number anytime you have any questions about longevity.
You usually answer that number directly?
I always answer that number.
Oh, I thought it was like to a voicemail or something.
No, well, if I'm asleep or if I'm, have the phone turned off, it'll go to voicemail. But if you leave a text, if you leave a real clear message, it'll translate it to text and send it to me in a text message. So even if you don't know how to send a text message, just speak real clearly, slowly, and it will translate it to text and send it to me.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah. That's
Okay, Dave
218
Michaels.
KSCO, and of course, KSCOhealth.com.
Right. Okay. Well, have a great Saturday, and thanks for coming in, Dave Michaels.
Good morning, a brighter day is here. Good morning, may we bring you cheer.
We've got time, we've got tunes, we've got time, tunes, and temperature.
Get up and go, it's today you know on KSCO Radio.
Well, are we going to talk about canceling KSCO today? Are we going to do that? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
All right. So welcome to the Saturday Special Gang. MZ and Josh Stevens here at your service. Dave Michaels is in the Dave Cave. And we'll be with you up until noontime. And you can call and participate by calling 479-1080.
Good morning, now stay right here on KSCO Radio.
Now, I'm not being facetious when I guess I am being a little paranoid when I say KSCO can be canceled. I don't know how. You would think that I would have to cancel it, but there are forces that I wouldn't have thought. What's his name? You know, the guy who was just canceled, Lou Dobbs. I wouldn't have thought that he would get canceled, but he did. All right. So the Mike Lindell documentary is out, and we don't dare put a link on KSCO.com because that'll mark us for life. It'll put a target on our back. But I'm gonna go out on a limb here by telling you that all you need to do to watch it is go to michaeljlindell.com. michaeljlindell.com. As I say, we don't dare put that on KSCO.com because it'll be signing our death warrant. I don't know how, I don't understand it. But I don't have the balls to take that chance. And I'm sure you understand. You can understand me when I say that, right? If there is still some value to KSCO, even if we are emasculated and are not permitted to talk about certain things and or go down certain directions, there's still some value to the station, right? Or not?
I mean, given the diverse content in which we host, absolutely, because I can't think of many other radio stations that have a pet program. I can't think of many stations that actually cover LGBT issues. I can't think of one that even discusses cannabis, for heaven's sake.
Uh-huh.
And, like, I could go on and on.
We do all that. We do all that, and we're very proud of it. We really are, ladies and gentlemen. But and we could still continue to do all that. We better not have any discussion that there might have been any possibility that the election was illegitimate or stolen or whatever. We must not do that. So please, I beg you, I beg everybody who's listening, who's thinking of calling, whatever you do, don't talk about that or don't even suggest it. Don't even suggest it. If you care about KSCO. If you don't care about KSCO, I guess you can say whatever you want. And of course, I'll have to censor you when I see that you're going down that road. Now, I hate this. I can't believe that's me to MZ talking. I'm going to have to censor you. But it's a matter of, it's either censoring or dying. We have to become part of the cancel culture. if we want to survive in the United States of America, according to the people who are now in control of the United States of America. Okay, let's take a call. I'm going to say take next, which is really take first. Hey, Rory, you usually call at the end of the show, not the beginning.
Yeah, no, I just thought I'd get ahead of the parade. Please tell me that your tongue is completely implanted in your cheek on that last comment.
No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
Well, Michael, if you go that route, you won't have a station. People will quit listening.
Really?
It's that easy. Oh yeah. And hey, do you know who?
But I won't have
John
a station. But I
Frederick
won't have a station anyhow.
Yes, you will. The FCC would have to revoke your license. There'd have to be hearings. There'd have to be legal, and you're well protected with the First Amendment. This is a bluff.
No, the First Amendment. Don't
fall for the bluff.
I think the First Amendment is gone.
Nah, baloney. It's the afterglow of the Biden. Look, he stole that election fair and square, and they're having a little after. See, you gotta laugh.
That's pretty good.
And it's their afterglow. It's like the man, it's like the Wizard of Oz. Pay no attention to the man behind the great and powerful Oz has spoken.
Yeah.
And then Toto pulls back the curtain, and whoa, it's just that little, what was he?
Bald-headed, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And what a great story. That shows, and I even believe that about tech. Now, they definitely had they're feeling their oats, but they don't own everything. Screw them. And I was going to ask you, do you know about John Fredericks and his radio network on the East Coast? Check him out. John Fredericks, he's out of, I think, Norfolk or Virginia Beach. He's a good guy. He just bought a radio station in Atlanta. He's expanding.
Wow.
He's like a MZ on steroids. You just got to buck up, man.
That's amazing.
Look up, check out John Fredericks Radio Network. That's where I first heard Steve Bannon. Somebody threw a link up in a comment section. I went to that, and I didn't even know Bannon was broadcasting. So anyway, I said that, but you should have Mike Lindell on. That guy's a hoot, and he's serious. I heard him interviewed this morning. He's begging Dominion to sue him. But they won't sue him because he'll get discovery. Hilarious. He's like, please, Dominion. Please, Smartmatic. Please sue me.
Well, they're suing all the other. I guess they sue little guys like me, right? Because I can't.
They're threatening. Yeah. Well, they threaten. They've got a big lawsuit now pending against Fox. It's a bluff, man. It's like do you do well when you play poker, or do you lose money?
I'm afraid to gamble in any way. Because I hate the feeling of losing much more than I love the feeling of winning.
I know, but you're in a big poker game. I think you know it. Play your cards well, keep them close to the vest. But check out John Fredericks. Maybe you guys could do some simulcasting of different shows. I think it'd be a hoot.
Okay.
Okay, and keep laughing. Hey, have a Saturday joke special mixed in with all this droll talk of.
Okay. Do you have a joke to go out?
We got a First Amendment right.
Do you have a joke? A joke to go out with?
Oh shoot! Now you put me on the spot.
Yeah. Well, your idea.
You guys walk into a bar. No, I'm not. I'd have to. I'm not good. I gotta have a script.
Okay.
I have some jokes, but I've already run them. Everybody's already heard them.
Oh.
Like the great. I've got that Italian World War II rifle for sale. It's in great condition.
Yeah.
It's never been fired and only thrown down one time. But you'd have to know. See, you laugh because you're my age group. But anyway, buck up. Let's go. First Amendment. We've got a right to assemble, speech, freedom of religion.
Not during COVID. We don't have a right to assemble. Unless we're Antifa. They have rights to assemble.
Yeah, no. Hey, by the way, I encourage everybody to go to TimeMagazine.com and read the Molly Ball article on how they stole the election.
Oh.
They basically admit it. Just read the Molly Ball article. She used to be with Politico. I remember reading her at Politico.
Okay.
Well written, long piece, but check it out. It's instructive.
Thank you, Rory in Watsonville.
They will not silence us.
Okay.
Take care. Bye.
We'll see you. Bye-bye. Here's Bob in Pea Grove about radio station cancel.
Hey, I don't want you guys to get canceled. I have too much fun listening to you when I'm out in my shop.
Well, we don't want to be canceled either, but we need to take a page out of a bunch of other books of people who are being canceled because they dare to say things that they shouldn't be saying.
I think you're being a little bit paranoid, Michael, and the best way to avoid getting canceled is to speak truth to power. And I think usually, on balance, your station does that.
Uh-huh. Well, I think we all like to think that, so.
But you have to be careful to make sure that you're speaking the truth because as a radio station, you've got a big audience and you bear some responsibility to make sure that you're giving out an even-handed discussion. Don't you agree?
Even-handed. No, I don't agree with that. The radio licensees can run their stations however they want to. If they want to slander somebody, they're not going to be, they're not going to be around very long. If they're going to use their power to do bad things. But there's nothing that said. Remember, there's no fairness doctrine anymore. That went out with Reagan. In the 80s, in 87, I think it was. There's no responsibility to present both sides of any issue like there used to be. But we choose to do it anyhow because I think that's the right way to behave. Okay.
Right. I wasn't talking about legal responsibilities. I was talking about more of a moral, ethical responsibility. And in general, I think your station does that.
Oh,
okay. You've had some real radical hosts on the far right, and fewer on the left. But you tend to balance it up. And when people get too far off the ranch, I think you do a good job of, reining them in. But now I got a complaint.
Oh, well, I think you should call complaints to another radio station. We only accept praise only, not complaints.
Okay, I called a couple of weeks ago, a week and a half ago, about the video you've got up on the site from Dr. Simone.
Yes, okay. And are you the guy who I told to send me a link and that we would publish that?
Which I did.
Yes, and please tell me your name because I remember getting it, and if I don't do something immediately, like forward it to our web guy, which I didn't, I said I'll do that later. I forgot where it was. I was actually looking for that today, but so I'm really happy you called. Okay. So, what day did you send it? And if you don't mind resending it, I will forward it. In fact, I have a call to Jonty today to call me.
I will resend it, and that is the reason I think that. Like I say, I figured you must have forgot it. Slipped your mind. You're old like me, and things happen.
Yeah, and it's a bad excuse. It's a poor excuse, but it's a true excuse.
All right, I will resend you the link, and because I think it's important that we don't want to give your listeners, my public, the wrong impression and have them thinking the wrong way, because that's how people make mistakes. That's how people get into mobs and do the wrong thing because they think they're doing the right thing.
Yes. Bob, thank you. And I apologize. I was thinking about that today. Was it 2 weeks ago? I thought it was last week, but maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Maybe a week and a half, something like that. But
okay.
I will resend it to you.
Resend it. Make sure that good. Okay, so I'll be looking for it. It'll definitely be here before noon. And I will, as soon as I see it, I will press forward to jc@ksco.com.
All right, and I look forward to continue listening to you guys on the radio, assuming you haven't been canceled.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bob.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Now, here's Bill in Aptos. You want to comment on the My Pillow guy and MZ?
Yeah, just for a moment. Thank you, Michael. The documentary, it's about 2 hours long.
Yes.
And if I could change something about it, I would have put the second hour first and the first hour last. But to any of anybody who's really interested in finding out, what exactly happened they will be satisfied with what happened in this election on November 3rd. If they will just seek out Mary Fanning. Sorry, there's a truck going by.
Bill,
F-A-N-N-I-N-G.
you are in the loudest place that anybody has ever
Sorry.
called this talk radio station
forgive me.
from. I mean, it's
Forgive me.
unbelievable.
Okay,
But
I'm
now it's
pulling
quiet.
the phone way far away. Okay, Mary Fanning, Fanning. She has about a 6 or 7 minute segment, and if people were to say use DuckDuckGo instead of Google, they might actually find some of the things that they're looking for as to what's going on in this world.
And will it be
very much.
Will it be anything besides depressing? Is it anything?
Yes.
If you understand it, is there anything you can do about it?
Yes. I think the first thing to do, well, here's one example of something that you can do. If you're a user of Twitter and Facebook, if you're tired of having an opinion that doesn't fit with the far left and getting kicked off or shadow banned or whatever, or you notice that people that you used to follow suddenly disappeared, most of them originally went to Parler, and then Parler got messed with, so they're all over at Gab, Gab.com.
Yeah, as is Trump, because Trump made his first social media, activity. I was just reading about that a few hours ago, and it's on Gab, huh?
Can I do an insane Nostradamus?
Sure.
Okay. Everyone can just, ignore this, and it's an insane guy out at Rio Del Mar walking his Pomeranian. But in June, if not sooner, I don't consider Joe Biden to be my president now, but he's not our president. He's not going to be our president, and we are peacefully
Kamala
in the
will
process.
by June, don't you think? That's what a lot of people are saying.
We are no. They're going to be gone, and this whole rotten system, it's been going on for a couple of 100 years. People need to find out, so they'll be there to comfort. I mean, people are going to be absolutely stunned when they find out things that have been done. And this, in my opinion, based on a lot of research, is that Republican and Democrat is a game that suits certain people, and they get us to concentrate on that hand while the magician is picking our pocket. And picking our pocket spiritually, financially, every possible way you can think of. And this is not a left versus right. This is not liberal, progressive versus conservative. This is good versus evil, and stuff's going down soon. And the Trump supporters are constantly accused of the things that they never do, that the left is constantly doing.
Yeah.
That's how you get a bunch of Antifa organizers dressing up in Trump gear on January 6th. It's just disgusting. And then you look, we see almost a whole year of burning and looting, and hearing our Congress call it peaceful protests, hearing mainstream media calling it peaceful protests.
Now, I have a question for you, Bill.
Yeah.
How come we haven't heard from you in years? And I'm delighted to hear. I thought you might have passed away.
I have to tell you, I was a victim of the COVID scam. I had a second career, and it required me to wear a mask, which just about killed myself, because, masks won't protect you from a virus, but what they will do is make you an absolute prime candidate for bacterial pneumonia.
Sure.
And so...
don't tell me that happened to you.
Yeah. So I am just absolutely, with all my heart, looking forward to people being told from that big box in their living room, oh, I'm sorry, it turns out we were wrong. Oh, those PCR tests, now that we've cut down the number of cycles by 70%, the COVID went down by 70%. Oh, and it just happened to happen right after Biden got in. These are all just very fortuitous things for one side, aren't they? Mm-hmm. I wanted to say one last thing, and thank you for letting me talk so long. Besides the Republican-Democrat charade, the other one, I'm sorry to say, but I don't think it's going to be for very much longer, so take heart, is they create the illusion that we are sovereign nations and that there is the country of Germany, there's the country of China, there's the country of the United States and Canada and France. And really, the people who have been running things for a very long time, they have no loyalty to any country. They have no loyalty to us or what happens to us.
Globalists, right? Yeah.
They are globalists, and they're doing everything they can right now to turn America into a third world country. And if you just ask, why would somebody do that? Because you need a weak, defenseless America if you're bringing in a new world order. If you have a proud America that is a beacon of freedom to the rest of the world, it's not going to work. They've got to be taken down. So everything they're doing right now, I believe people shouldn't get too upset by all of these ridiculous executive orders that Biden's been signing, because they're not going to go in effect.
Well, the other side was just as upset with the executive orders that Trump signed, right? You know, I said this a couple of weeks ago. You know, for the first couple of weeks, I was very, very, very depressed. I came in here and I said, I'm so depressed. And one of the staff people said to me, well, now you know how we felt 4 years ago, you know? So.
Yeah, I mean, Trump, I don't think Trump had taken the escalator right, and there were already, the Not My President campaigns, the resist caps. But, sometimes, be careful what you ask for. I mean, I think it's just a matter of a few more days or a couple of weeks at the most, where even some of the most ardent people on the left are just gonna be scratching their heads and saying, what are these guys doing? And every day, I mean, maybe you said some of what you said with tongue in cheek, but not all of what you said about being fearful of the future of your station is tongue in cheek, because many people who have done similar things that you have done, and they've tried to be very fair and present all sides of different topics, whether they're popular with one group or not. Many of those people have been censored, and some of them have been ruined. Their businesses have been ruined. Their families have been threatened. Some have paid a higher price than that, just because their difference of opinion didn't fit with a certain group of people. And so I really believe right now what we have is we have a sham government, and every day they're becoming more and more a government that we should fear. And I don't remember which of the signers of the Declaration of Independence said, if your government fears you, that's a republic for the people, but if you fear your government, that's tyranny.
Okay. Bill, thank you so much.
Taking my...
Yeah, good to hear from you, and don't be a stranger. James Carville. James Carville?
Hello?
James
yes.
Carville.
MZ, I've been listening to your program for years, and this has got to be some of the biggest poppycock I've ever heard. I'm a liberal, but they call me the Louisiana Lightning and the Raging Cajun. And I always want to say, first off, where were the Republicans ever talking about stolen elections before Trump even brought it up, before there was even an election anyway? He said there was going to be people messing with him, and
for mail-in voting in particular. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But believe me, if there's been any skullduggery or anything like that, but this is war, as my wife would have said. She would say right now. Because, again, GOP, if you are so gung-ho on thinking an election was stolen, what the hell happened in 2000 when Al Gore was deprived of Florida and he'd be president right now? Hillary would have been president. This is ridiculous. You damn GOPers. And, and Trump had shut his mouth and just governed and talked about wearing masks, he'd probably be in the White House right now and not whining about the election in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. This is war. This is ridiculous. And I hear your callers talking Jabberwocky, and that's all it is. It's far right Jabberwocky. And the pillow guy, I mean, give me a break, MZ. Just give me a break. pillow guy, if he didn't have Trump, he'd have nothing. Nothing.
Well,
And
his
the reason why
business is very successful.
Yeah, well, then he ought to shut his pie hole. And then as far as Lou Dobbs has nothing to do with his content. It has everything to do with all the crap. That's why all those people being sued. That's why they don't want that's why they don't want him on there. It has nothing to do with censorship.
Oh.
My wife used to go on Tim Russ's show on NBC
Before he died. Before Tim Russ died.
Before he died back on June 27, 2008. But the rest of his stuff, this is just blatant far right conspiracy theories. Ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. And to hear the kind of crap I'm hearing right now is just petty stuff. Your callers need to get an education sometimes. To opening up a book or looking on the line and talking about real stuff as opposed to all the crap that I'm hearing, not just on your station, but on Fox. Look at Fox News and all their ratings. It's ridiculous.
Okay.
This is war.
Well, I appreciate your listening and checking in, and we appreciate your calling 479-1080. Thank you, Mr. Carville. Here is Gary in Santa Cruz about the cancel culture. Hi, Gary in Santa Cruz about the cancel culture.
Well, welcome, comrades.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the your station being, under target. The only way it could be shut down is if the new administration, FCC, takes your license away, which I hope that would not happen. But there is that, and anything's possible with the new commies in control. I would like to give a shout out to Rory and the rest of the callers, except that last one. Boy, is he out there. Just really taking my points away. But the Time Magazine article, which involved tech involvement in the election, people need to read that. That was involving Bill Gates and the other tech giants who put a lot of money into specifically Facebook guy, Zuckerberg. They put a lot of money in. The Time Magazine article is from somebody who was involved and opened their big mouth.
If you had a lot of money, if you had a lot of money, Gary in Santa Cruz, would you use it to try to influence an election?
Not illegally.
Right. Okay, but
no.
But how about legal? I guess like fund a bunch of ads.
Well, legally
and stuff,
is different than illegally, and you've got the tech. Tech has put us on. Tech has turned us into slaves and serfs. Don't you agree? I mean, Facebook. You got smartphones. I never got a smartphone. I'm on a flip phone, a dumb phone. I never texted, and I do not do apps and all that other crud. But
I do all that, but I don't do, and I do have accounts with Twitter and Facebook only because I get notifications in my email that someone said something about me or said something that I would be interested in. So click here, and I do, but I don't use the social media myself. So if I were censored, if they took my accounts away, I wouldn't give a bleep because I don't use it anyhow. Doesn't mean anything.
I don't use Facebook. I used to be on Facebook. Now I haven't looked at it really in 5 or 6 months. I'm just completely. As far as these tech people go, they're all together.
I'd like to think people are coming back to talk radio. Not that many of the older people have ever left, but some of them have. There used to be people who would call all the time, and Bill was one of them. I was starting to think that, hey, one reason why I haven't heard from, I jokingly said I thought you might have passed away. But no, what's more likely to have happened, Vernon used to be a very frequent caller, and he hardly ever calls. He's a great guy personally, and every time we call him and ask him if he could fill in as a host on the station, he graciously says yes. It's amazing, but we don't hear from him anymore. And I think it's because he's caught up in social media. Might as well be a teenager or a 20-something person.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm radio only for me, pretty much. And Bill, he should call again. That guy's got some great points, really.
Well, Josh
I'll let you go.
Stevens thought I let him on too long, didn't you, Josh?
Just a little too long.
Yeah, but he had some great points. Anyway, I'm off.
Okay.
We'll talk to you.
Thank you so much. And if you want to hear from Rory, he's next. In fact, don't go away, Gary. You can congratulate Rory yourself because he's on now.
Hi, Gary. Good to hear your voice.
Rory, yeah, I've listened to you for a long time, and man, you're on it, along with the first 3 or 4 callers were just really informative.
Yeah.
And just took my thunder.
Well, thanks to the Zwerling family for having this open forum when anybody can call in, and as long as they're not crew, they can express their thoughts. And like you said, MZ, you got an FCC license for that radio station. Don't back down to anybody. You don't have to apologize.
Turn up.
Oh.
You don't have to apologize. And
no.
Rich Lieberman, will you please call in under your real name and stop hiding behind these phony, ridiculous impersonations?
Some of them are pretty good. Some of them are real good.
Yeah, but he started off that Frost thing with a crude comment, man. It was like barf all over my shoes when I heard that. It's like, good grief. Come on, Rich. Pick it up.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know what? Keep working hard, MZ. You've got a legacy there. There's not too many left. You got great callers like Bill and Gary. I hadn't heard Bill and you.
We're going to turn this into a non-profit. Not that it hasn't been.
There you go.
It's been a non-profit all these years.
Might as well make it official.
Not intentionally. Yeah, we're going to turn this into a non-profit so that people can make tax-deductible donations, and the big tech firms who want to support free speech. I don't know how many of them there are, but there might be a few. Can make endowments to us so they don't have to pay taxes. And we're going to have a board of directors of logical people, and the station is going to be transferred over to that nonprofit. And
maybe you could put Colonel Terry in charge of that.
No. Please. I know that was tongue-in-cheek, Terry. Oh
yes. Big tongue-in-cheek.
The other, this is the uniparty. It doesn't matter. It's the globalists versus Americans. And there are Republicans in the uniparty. Look at that Molly Ball article, and it talks about how the Chamber of Commerce, through an intermediary, worked with big labor, AFL-CIO, and Trumpka. And they worked to get Biden elected and unseat Trump. They're bragging about it. It's in your face. So go check it out, everybody, and I'll let you go. Good talking to all you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. I'm gone too. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Now here it says take next. That would be none other than the man who has been waiting for 28 minutes and some change. The new West Side Al. The old West Side Al I don't know if he passed away or is still with us or has gone off to social media, but you're the new West Side Al, right, Al?
Right on, MZ.
Yeah.
Wow, what an honor. I'm proud to be here.
Well,
hey.
Yeah, okay. Nice to hear from you.
Oh, well, nice to hear you too. Who was the last caller?
That was... Man, that was Rory and Watts. Oh, it was also the man from Pacific. Jesus, what's wrong with me? I must really be losing it because that's real short-term memory. Anyhow, your point is that we've had some really good callers today. Yes.
Yeah, the thing is he totally put it all in perspective. I thought I was hearing things, right? Mm-hmm. First caller with that off-the-wall remark. I thought I was hearing things, right? I did notice Captain saying, and then I got to the point I was going, wait a minute. Is this that guy that does all the voice impersonations? I don't know what his name is. There's a guy that does a whole talk show, and he just all the different voices. But the last caller brought that up. That's what I thought was going on. So I was expecting that one guy that pretends he's Jesus Christ. I think they call him JC, he calls on Coast to Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I was expecting him to call in.
Well,
But anyway,
it's happened several times where George Norrie himself calls the Saturday special. You know, he listens every once in a while, and when he has time, he calls in. If he has, it's sort of fun.
well, this is interesting because I always wondered, did you ever get a chance to meet Art Bell?
Yes. Oh, several times. Yeah. Sure.
Oh,
In fact, he used to send me emails. He sent me a lot of emails in the mid 90s, around 93, 94. Pitching me to carry Coast to Coast on KSCO. And I used to reply to the emails, Art, it's a wonderful show, but it's on every other station. It's on a million different other AM stations, so why would I want to put something on that you could get on many other parts of the dial? And that was my stock answer to him. A few years later, I met him at some sort of a trade industry convention or something for talk radio. And he said, I still want to be on your station, Michael. And by that time he was pretty famous. And I said, well, okay. So we put Art Bell on back in 97 or 98, I think. And then that morphed into George's show. Because Art has expired. He retired first and then he expired.
And I always wondered about that, MZ, because it's kind of a little suspicious, him ending up out in the Philippines and passing away like that. I mean, we could do a whole show, conspiracy show on that. But talking about stuff like, okay, well, I got you on the line. I'm realizing I can't email you a George Norrie interview that I happened to grab years ago. But the funny thing is, supplying now. And can I just name the author in the book?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead real quick because we have other callers.
Like I said, I sent you a tape, but that's the main deal is you get the book. Okay, the book is The Coming Famine. Author Julian Cribb. C-R-I-B-B. Very important because it applies to everything that's going on and what's going to happen by mid-century.
Okay.
All right, and Z, you're one of my heroes, too.
Well, what a nice thing to say. Thank you, West Side Al, the West Side Al 2.0. Okay, thank you. Now, we have John in Pasadena and Jerry in Los Banos and some lady. It just says some lady. And listen, all of these people, please stay on hold. We're just going to be gone for 6 minutes. Top of the hour news coming up in about 35 seconds. But John in Pasadena, who has some November 3rd honesty in the election and some jokes, and Jerry in Los Banos, we don't know what Jerry has, and we don't know what the some lady has, but we hope that they'll stay with us, please, okay? You are listening. Are we at 48, 49?
No, we're at 42.
Oh, okay.
15.
All right. Well, you're listening to your favorite radio station, KSCO, Santa Cruz, Salinas, Monterey.
Outside the KSCO studio, 51 degrees, mid-60s expected, sunny skies tonight, partly cloudy, lows in the low 40s, and keeping that trend into the rest of weekend. Monday, mostly cloudy skies, and clouds continuing to linger through next week. Time now for the Saturday special, 11:06 at KSCO.
Oh, hello, darling. I hate to hang up on you, but I'm sorry, baby, but I have to go. It's time for that wonderful record show. I'd love to visit, but you'll have to call back. KSCO has the inside track.
And it looks like John in Pasadena and Jerry in Los Banos and the some lady are still here. But James in Seaside is called. I'm so excited.
Sorry, baby, but I really gotta go to KSCO Radio.
Gee, I talked over the sexy lady's vocal. That wasn't very good.
Oops. Happens to me all the time since I started music jockeying.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, you'll get better with practice. Okay, here, John in Pasadena. Thank you for waiting so long. You're on the air.
Thank you, MZ. I just want to tell you how much I appreciate KSCO, and I want to say that the November 3rd election was as clean as a hound's tooth. It was far and away the most honest, no fraud whatsoever. I've looked from one side of the country to the other, and it's just a wonderfully honest and fraud-free model of what an election should be like. So I just want to say that on the air on KSCO. And that's my comment on the election.
Well, thank you. Yeah, that should balance some of the other comments that have been made today. But I'm not sure that's going to be sufficient. The fact that we allowed any of the other comments at all could have signed our death warrant right there.
Are you insinuating that I have my thumb on the scale or something?
No, not at all. Not at all. But thank you very much for adding. You know, I'm not sure that it'll work though.
Well, okay. Well.
Now, John, how long are you in Pasadena now? Yeah, because you have 626 phone number, huh?
I'm sitting in my living room in Pasadena. Yep.
Did you used to live here?
No, I've never lived there.
How did you discover us?
Somebody that listens to you up in your area told me about it, and I just love your station.
Ah, okay. Well,
I love the Chinese, the food chain, the Saturday special. Your station is one of a kind, and it's a treasure.
Yeah, thank you. I hope we last a little longer here. So appreciate what about the jokes?
Well, the first one has to do with Brother O'Leary. Now, Brother O'Leary took a vow of silence when he went into this monastery, but he discovered a loophole in his vow of silence. He became a ventriloquist.
Oh, Dave Michaels, are you grimacing? Yeah, well, but Dave thinks it's funny.
And then I'm looking at a map of why you shouldn't invade America. And apparently in New England, there's people who wear shorts in the winter. You come down the coast a bit to like New York, there's gangs.
Yeah.
Down the coast a little bit more, and there's backwoods people. Backwoods people who still know the old ways. Come a little bit more south, you got rednecks. Then down in Florida, you got contractors and Florida man. Move over to Louisiana, you got the swamp hunters. Texas, you got cowboys. Working up to Arkansas, we got Joe Exotic. And then finally in the Midwest, you got an impossible corn maze full of armed farmers. And we move over to the backcountry hunters of Wyoming, the long-range Mormons in Utah, the machine gun collectors in northern Arizona and New Mexico. And down near the border, you got the cartels. Up in the top of Idaho, you got the Nazis. San Diego, you got the SEALs. L.A., you got the gangs. Alaska, it says even the liberals have guns. And the only place is at the coast up near the junction of California and Oregon. It says this part wouldn't be that tough. So this is a map of why you shouldn't invade America.
Good. Can you forward that to me, mz@ksco.com?
Right now.
That'd be great. Thank you, John in Pasadena. Thank you for the kind words.
You're more than welcome.
Okay. Appreciate your call to 479-1080. So Jerry in Los Banos and some lady hang out. Dave Michaels is here.
Just 1 minute, MZ. I just want to let people know that I'm out at the Dave Cave until 2 today, every Saturday from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. Don't forget that. If you're not sure of whether I'll be out there for a sale or not, call 831-218-KSCO. If you want to order online, go to kscohealth.com. I have one canister left of 2.0.
You're kidding.
No, I mean, of the 2.5, I should say.
2.5,
Of the 2.5. Only one canister left of the 2.5. So if you want to try the new pineapple
Wait a minute.
flavor,
Has the shipment come?
no, but you know, The 2.0 canisters, if they have the white lid,
Yeah.
that is actually the 2.5.
Right. And,
So-
and the label on top of it.
The label says
sticker.
2.0. It says 2.0 right now. There, I guess.
But isn't there a sticker on the lid?
There is.
It
Yes.
says 2.5.
Yes. On this one can, there is not a sticker, but yes, ordinarily there's a sticker on along with a white lid that signifies that it's a 2.5.
Wow. I mean, what is it? It's what's today? The 6th or the 7th? What day?
Today
is
is the 6th. Yes.
Yeah, we should have the. We got to get after
The 2.5 will not be in until the 18th. That's when it's going to be available.
Oh,
It's on the
no.
18th. Yeah. So I do have some more coming in.
But
on the
we
18th.
don't forget the boxes and boxes and boxes. We have the individual 2.0s.
Yeah,
the
we have
individual
tons of
stick
those.
packs. Yeah.
The flavor
That's
is
good.
definitely different though. So
But some people some people like the 2.0 better than the 2.5.
Yeah,
For me, it's a toss-up. Either one is very good.
For me, I go with the 2.0. I got to say, I stick with the 2.0.
Right.
But the 2.5 has a pineapple flavor. If the 2.0 is something that you ordinarily don't like, maybe you want to try this one out. But for me, I stick with the original 2.0.
Okay.
That's my money. All right,
Thank
MC.
you, Dave.
See ya.
Dave Michaels. Okay, it's time for Jerry in Los Banos. Hi, Jerry.
No, it's Julie.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Julie in Los Banos.
Okay, Julie. Sorry. Here.
No, that's
Yeah,
okay.
he changed it. I get to blame other. I never accept personal responsibility for anything. I always look for other people to blame.
That's a good plan.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just wanted to say, don't be afraid of being censored or taken off of the air. I got to tell you, I've been listening to your radio show for about 2 years now, and really intensely since the COVID pandemic came about last March. And I got to tell you, you present both sides equally. So you shouldn't have any fear in being censored or taken off the air. I've learned a lot.
No, you don't understand. The fact that we present conservative views at all creates a danger of us losing our license.
Conservative or common sense?
Doesn't matter.
I see it as common sense.
Well, that's what I see it too. But we don't stop anybody from participating. We encourage everybody. I believe that the conservative people tend to use our platform more than others. They choose to.
Right, but you're not responsible for their thoughts. You're not planting these thoughts into people's heads. I'm telling you, a year and a half ago, I was a totally different person, a totally different thought process. But I have seen the light, and it's in combination of many different things. A lot of things that are self-evident based. So I just wanted to say, a lot of the things that you talk about are very helpful to people that are confused. There's a lot of confused people out here, and it creates a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety in people's lives. And your platform is just something that people like me can relate to. I think, I'm losing my mind, but then I hear there's other people that have the same thoughts that I do, and I don't feel so crazy anymore. So keep doing what you're doing.
How did you discover us, Julie, in Los Banos?
Well, I commute over Pacheco Pass every day, and the radio station that I listen to here in the Valley, when you get to Casa de Fruta, it switches over to your station. So I started enjoying what I was hearing, and then I started listening to it on the way. I downloaded the app, and I started listening to it on the way home from work every night. And I do notice that Flight 1080 has kind of gotten watered down in the past couple of weeks, just so you know.
Oh, now, here you're talking to one of the people here. Josh Stevens is 1/5 of Flight 1080. He's on what is it, Thursdays?
That's
Josh?
right.
Yeah, and so here, go ahead and tell Josh Stevens what you mean by watered down. Oh.
What you have to do to stay on the air, but I have noticed it's kind of gotten a little watered down. You're kind of steering away from topics that people actually want to talk about or hear about. And I don't think in any way you're influencing anybody's thought. People have their own minds. You just offer information out there. People can either absorb it, learn more about it, or toss it off as nonsense. That's the way it has to be looked at. That's
Right.
freedom of speech. That's freedom of gathering knowledge. That's just a basic human right.
Well, that's what we're all about, and that's what we're going to try to preserve if we can. So thank you for the kind words, Julie, and keep
All
listening.
right, don't be afraid. Keep doing what you're doing. If you got to water it down just a little bit, just the CYA, that's okay. But keep doing what you're doing because I really
We're going to
enjoy
change our
listening to
call letters from KSCO to KCYA if the call letters are available. Okay? Thank you for calling 479-1080. Okay, we're finally going to Some Lady. Is this Some Lady?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Talk into the microphone. You're a little muffled, please.
Okay, I'm doing it.
Okay. You're on the air.
Okay, I called initially to ask you if you could do karaoke.
Oh, karaoke. I like to do that, but I don't when we have callers waiting that we.
Can I do just one thing then?
Okay, sure.
It's called Shady Grave by Tom Hobson. My son, shady grave in the country, alone with my book and my wine. The hot August sun on the tombstones, and nothing at all on my mind.
Well, I haven't heard that before.
Well, it's lonely. It's not easy there when you're only.
We need to get you on a better phone so we can understand you better. It's too muffled. But anyhow, I salute you for calling KSCO and singing your call to the radio audience here. Dan in Pacific Grove has a brief comment.
Yes, good morning, Michael.
Hi.
Beautiful day out.
It sure is, isn't it?
So I would strongly encourage you to not engage in self-censorship. I think a lot of intimidation, some of the intimidation is subtle. This establishment media marching in lockstep to portray the impression that it's not okay to engage in free speech, vigorous or otherwise, that certain attitudes are thought crimes.
There are some people...
Not acceptable, and to marginalize individuals.
That's as foreign as it could be to me, Dan. I agree with you. But the fact is, this is a fact now that I'm going to divulge.
Mm-hmm.
Since the election, and since the gathering strength of this cancel culture, it has had a very chilling effect on national talk radio. Absolutely, positively. And that could spell the end of national talk radio. A chilling effect on advertising, because a lot of companies that did national advertising on talk radio, and there's been a lot of fear along the way because of the controversy factor, and people have been threatening boycotts. It's usually the left that threatens. I don't think I've ever heard of conservative people threatening to boycott something that because an advertiser on a show that they don't like.
Although I think that should happen. Get in their face and push back as individuals every place, because otherwise what's going to be left? There will, this trend continues, there will be nothing left to push with or from. It'll be gone.
Well, you could be right. Yes, in fact, you probably
even
are.
The popularization of a term such as cancel culture implies that that's widespread. Well, I actually don't know anybody who promotes thinking like that. It's images created and pushed and
Yeah, I don't personally know people like that either, but boy, you sure are seeing a lot of it. It's getting a lot of attention in the news, in the mainstream news, for sure.
One thing, just one final comment on this, and I'll clear out. But we do have laws. You've been a successful station owner for quite some time. You're familiar with the laws that apply to your operation.
I think we're a nation of men, not laws.
Well, it's becoming that way, and that's exactly the point. Nation of edicts and thugs and intimidation, and if we as a society allow this to continue, it will not get better. Will not get better. You want to hear? Well, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, some couple that was very good friends of my parents had escaped, which was the only way to immigrate from Eastern Europe, the Soviet-occupied countries at that time. About 9 or 10 years old, my father was very good friends with a gentleman who wrote a book. He and his wife had escaped Hungary by hijacking a plane. It was big news at the time. He's now living in California, but I remember him sitting in the living room, our living room. So I was 9 or 10 years old. He had tears in his eyes, and he said, "I see your country going the same way as mine did." And that trend has continued.
Have you listened to China Uber Alles, our special show, the likes of which there's nothing in the whole country or the world that I know of?
Oh, absolutely.
And Amy Howe, who's on that, sees this happening in our country, has seen it happen in our country, exactly what happened
I listened to
in communist China, where she grew up.
Yeah, that's a great show. I really appreciate it, and that's a great show. And if I miss it, I catch it online in the archives. But yeah, that's a very powerful comment. She's a very well-informed person, and we should listen to these people. You know, we're not exempt from history or reality or powerful forces pushing us around. And just look around, walk by a history book. If anybody just walks by a history book, they'll see some of this playing out. It looks a lot like the intimidation tactics used by the Bolsheviks who... Did you happen to notice, my brother pointed this out, he was correct, he said, so November 7th, the Associated Press announced they presented Joe Biden with the title President-elect, although there were states that many states had not even submitted certified results.
Yeah.
And it was kind of, I thought, gee, that's strange. And my brother pointed out, he says, we were talking about, I said, why did they pick that date? Why not wait till the returns are in? He said, that was the anniversary of the Bolshevik takeover of Moscow, of the Kremlin. That was when the Bolshevik Revolution, the communist...
That could have significance, or it could be a coincidence. What do you think?
Yeah, maybe it was an intentional coincidence. I don't know. But it is, setting that aside, one can ponder that, but setting that aside, the tactics being used by the left, it's like they read the playbook for the communist revolution. Intimidation, criminality, and they're getting a hell of a lot of support from various elected officials in our country, in the media. It's pretty frightening, very dangerous. These are very dangerous things. As you said, most dangerous is a government, a nation not governed by laws anymore, and it's certainly going that direction, and it's very disturbing. It's very dangerous, and so I'm not trying to push you in an awkward position, but we're already in an awkward position.
We sure are. So how can we get much more awkward?
Yeah, gee, Dan, stay quiet. You don't want to get in trouble. I go, hey, man, we're in trouble. I'm already in trouble. You have a great weekend.
Okay, I want to put out a call for James in Seaside to call back. We'll take his call right away if he'll call back. Okay, thank you, Dan in Pacific Grove, okay?
You take care. Thank you.
You too, please. Now, how come my mouse isn't working? Okay, Lee in Spreckles has been waiting a long time. Lee, you're on.
Greetings, Mike. It's good to hear your voice. Although
Thank you.
We want to lift you up and support you and tell you that you must come off the negative side, and you've got to stand firm, because Americans didn't win back 200 years ago. ICE and everything else that would stop a lot of people. They showed up. They stood up for this country, and right now, either party doesn't say anything about this election being stolen, and it has been. And Alex Jones, who you've had it on the Coconut Grove there, you sponsored him, and you got to bring him back, because Michael Savage is throwing in the towel, and your Alex Jones had an armored vehicle up there on the 6th of January, so that he could record everything without being interrupted, and you got to get his input on what he saw. I know a retired Coast Guard lady that took a couple of their kids and showed up there, and she told me personally, she's back east, and she told me that there was groups of people there that were just there to peacefully protest. And I'll tell you what, I trust that lady. They're living in a family, and they're real Americans. And at this point, we cannot let Google, Facebook, and Twitter. You got to get Google out of your system, or get Josh Voorhees back on, so that Josh can explain to you what Google's doing to you. Right now, Google's...
It's not Josh, it's Zach Voorhees, but yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, exactly. I have it written. I know Zach. I mean, I think I mentioned dropped his name to you, because he came out, and he's a $275,000 electrical engineer for Google, and he is a whistleblower on them, and he knows how bad they are. But I'd like to see what he has to say. I wish you'd bring him back on. Mike, your mom and I mean, you guys made your lives part of us, and part of the fabric of this part of America. And people like Michael Olson and Josh behind right with you here. I mean, these people. There's many more in the group. There, Dave Michaels is your protege, but he is a solid rock for young.
I'm his protege. I'm Josh's protege.
Yeah.
Anyhow, listen, Lee, thank you very much for calling. We got to move on, but I appreciate your kind words. And
will you bring Alex on?
I don't know. We'll have to think about that, because
still fighting over the issue of
Alex is not. Alex is not enjoying his most popularity these days.
Well,
because of some terrible things.
Well, he has been banned by just these.
He has. You're absolutely right, and that part is, and the amazing thing about Alex is that doesn't. He's undaunted by that. You know, he's created his own platform, basically. You know, he doesn't need KSCO.
Oh, Mike, we need to hear the truth. This news media that you have, you might as well say they must go into the back door to NSBC or CBS or whatever, because half of the junk they report on is negative. I mean,
okay, we'll reach out to Alex and see if he wants to come on as a Saturday special guest.
Bless you, Michael Zwerling and company.
Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Josh Stevens, would you do me a favor and call James in Seaside? I put the number on the screen.
I did. It went to voicemail.
Oh, really? Oh, he must be out. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't want to put him to the head of the line, because we had a bunch of other people waiting that I had promised we'd put on.
Well, which one are you thinking? Because it might not be the same one.
Oh, well, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
Because the voicemail sounded different.
Different from?
The one that called.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe, whatever. It's entirely possible. I haven't heard from James in Seaside for a long time, but we hadn't heard from Bill Cass either for a long, long time until today. And he was an amazing call today. Okay, well, let's go to, by the way, we have open lines at 479-1080. If we don't fill them up, then you're going to have to listen to me sing. And, of course, I'll need some requests here. But Dick in Santa Cruz regarding the ultimate cancel culture example. Can't wait to hear it, Dick. Go. Hello? Dick?
Hello?
Yeah, there you are, Dick. You're on the air.
Okay, yeah, I had an ultimate cancel culture example. It's coming up this Tuesday. It's the second impeachment trial in the Senate for Trump. Basically, now that's going to be broadcast on TV, right, Mike?
I assume.
Yeah. I was just thinking that they could bring up, I know Trump was asked to be a witness, but I think they're going to have other witnesses. So that's going to open up a whole can of worms for the left. I mean, because they can basically argue their case, which was he didn't say anything, of course, that's obvious, but to incite any kind of whatever you want to call it. What they'll be able to do is talk about the fraud in the election and the 60 court cases that canceled hearing the fraud case because they're scared. Cancel culture has been here for a decade. I mean, people and teachers and government workers and soldiers now, they can't talk their minds. They get canned.
Wow.
I mean, the cancel culture has been here for a long time. And I was expressing before that now what they're going to do is they're going to equate the cancel culture with hate crimes. So, it's just like the last fellow was talking about the revisionist history and the communist revolutions in China and Russia. It's going down that same path, just like Amy has talked to you about. And it's a scary path. If people actually looked at those revolutions, they'd be ready. And you'd be ready, Mike, because you have to be ready. Your station stands out across the United States for being, just a real common sense, like that one lady. I don't want to say conservative. I want to say common sense. I mean, we got 60 courts and the President of the United States in the Supreme Court, and he has a case with affidavits, hundreds, and they won't listen to it. And we have this.
That's a wonderful segue. That creates a wonderful segue into this email that I just received at 11:30, which was 4 minutes ago, and it's from Theodora. No. I listen. No. I try to do multitasking if possible. Okay.
Very good.
Okay, but Supreme Court will hear election fraud cases February 9th. This just in from Theodora Carey herself. And she's a very, very fine, credible, wonderful person that we don't hear from very often. Now, it just went away. It went off my screen. So, okay. The United States Supreme Court has now scheduled the Pennsylvania election case, Sidney Powell's Michigan election case, and Lynn Wood's Georgia election case for its February 19th conference. And then there's a link that you can press here and learn all about this from wiredailynews.com. It says, "Fear not." It's almost finished here. Fear not, MZ. If the Supreme Court can consider the question of election fraud, then so can you, your listeners, and your callers. Right. Wow. Now that it creates a great sigh of relief. I feel much better now. Yes.
But you better be on your toes. Seriously. I'm saying you better be on your toes as far as strategy. I'm not talking about changing anything on the station or how, you're such a hallmark of freedom and free speech, and it's getting squished everywhere else or corrupted. And, I feel so sorry mostly for the people that can't go back to school, and now they're saying they're going to keep us en masse for 7 years. and vaccinations every year, and and it's a scare tactic because it only affects the really sick people, and the amount of death from heart disease and cancer has dropped. There's no death from the flu. It's disappeared. So there's so much. They like to say misinformation. Now they have a czar now, of course, for misinformation. So
yes.
This is just a snowball. It's going to be a snowball, Mike, and you don't want to get run over.
Right.
So I'm just saying there's certain strategies. We don't have to talk about them out loud here, but you have to be ready. We all have to be ready. And I'm telling you right now, when they come for the guns, okay, they're going to lock us up, and at the same time they're going to be coming for the guns. When they come for the guns, we'll know it's almost over.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's my dire prediction, and I think the Senate impeachment is going to be a farce for the Democrats. That's my other prediction.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe
never
we'll hear
stopped
the
them
truth.
before.
No, they don't care. They have no self-respect as far as I'm concerned. They don't know what hypocrisy is. They don't know how stupid they sound. In the same breath, they'll say contradictory things. It's just amazing to me, really. But
all
who
right.
am I? I'm
well,
nobody.
you're Dick in Santa Cruz is who you are.
I'm Dick in Santa Cruz.
And you should be very proud.
I'm going to change it to China Dick, I think.
China Dick, okay. All right, well, thanks for calling. Here's Gordy in Deer Creek. Hey, Gordy.
Hi, MZ.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah, it's been a while since I spoke with you. I want to bring up shunning. This is what the government's doing to us. I'll give you a simple definition of shunning. That's to keep outside, to ignore. This is what cost Leopold his job as supervisor, because he shunned the public. He ignored us. He had similar word, of course, is ostracize, which means to cut away or to separate. That's what your government is doing to you. Okay, this cancel culture is just a politically correct way of shunning people. And this has been going on for a long time. If they don't want to hear what you say in the way of truth, they shun you. Our government has been doing this here in this county forever. You know that. You can't even talk to a supervisor now. They shun you. They've isolated themselves from us. So I don't know what the answer is here, but you got to recognize, people, you are being ostracized. You are being shunned by your government. And as I told Charlie yesterday, we should have 2 terms for politicians, one in office and one in prison.
Oh, wow. All of them?
Well, anybody who identifies themselves as a politician, they're kind of like lawyers. Yeah, there's a few good ones, but most of them do not have your interest in mind. They just want your money, and they want you to go away. But the simple matter is, people, you got to recognize that you've been separated from your government here, and your government has taken over while you were either too lazy to pay attention or too ignorant or too something here, too weak in some way to recognize this, and lacking the courage to fight back on this and insist that they hear us, insist that they do the will of the people instead of the will of some huge corporation that's too big to fail. Well, now the small businesses are too small to succeed. Everything is upside down in this world, and I hope that you recognize this and how you've been shunned many, many times by this county and state government here, and also now nationally. The shunning is going on. It's not a cancel culture. It's simple shunning. And that's all I have to say today, and thank you very much,
Well,
MC.
thank you for saying it. Good to hear from you, Gordy.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
I'll
Don't bend
try
over
not
for
to.
them. Don't submit. There's a lot of people behind you that you didn't know were behind you, MZ. You got to understand.
Well, we
that.
want people on our nonprofit KSCO Foundation board. Anybody who's interested should send me an email, okay, mz@ksco.com. Thank you for calling, 479-1080. Here's Wendell in Reno. Hi, Wendell.
Hey, Michael. I would like you to consider something.
Okay.
I know you, and I know the kind of person you are, and you've been a real good friend, and I think you're a wonderful person. And I want you to consider something. If Newsom gets recalled, I'd like you to consider running for governor. Now, before you say no, wait a minute. Before you say no or react, you have a large following. You have a lot of people who really adore you. And you're an intelligent man. And I've even got a campaign slogan worked up for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm all ears, as Ross Perot would say.
A vote for NZ will keep you free.
Josh Stevens is nodding his head. He likes it too. Wow.
Michael, you'd be a great governor. I'll tell you why. You couldn't be bought off. You've got integrity. You have values and morals. And you're just a darn right interesting and wonderful person. You've got a sense of humor, and you can sing. Now, come on, we'll get the whole package. We'll get the whole package with you, Michael.
And I can sing. That reminds me of the Beatles. And your bird can sing. Tell me.
Throw your hat in the ring. If we boot Newsom out, which I hope happens, I sure wish you would consider it, because
no one's ever suggested that I run for anything, Wendell. I mean, I thank you.
Well, Wendell Prowse from Reno, Nevada. I'm telling your listening audience right now, come on, everybody, let's endorse this guy. You know, let's make it happen.
Wow, I don't know what to say.
You'd be fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what to say. Put me at work. I'll help run your campaign.
Wow, God.
Think it over, okay?
Boy, yeah. I mean, I never thought of. I've never run for anything because I couldn't stand the rejection. You know.
No, you wouldn't be rejected. You've got a loyal audience, and a lot of people really admire you. Look at the different people who call up your program from all walks of life. And you could use Beach Boys' "Good Vibrations" as your song, you know, and get everybody re-inspired. Get everybody re-inspired, and make California great again. How about that?
Wow, God, it might be fun, but I don't think I have the stomach for it.
You do, and you could, and I hope you will.
I think
okay, that's all I got.
Well, thank you for the very kind words, Wendell. I appreciate it very, very much. Okay, so who is our next caller? Who is our next caller? Is it Steve from Lennon Murder Truth? Steve, what's that noise?
How you doing, Mike?
That's okay. Here you are. Now we can hear you. What's up? How are you
I'm in
doing?
New Orleans in the Bourbon Street area, trolling around with my van.
That's where you are now? You're in New Orleans?
Yeah, you won't believe what happened to me last week.
What?
A girl I knew when I was 23 who I was head over heels with, the girl that got away in my life.
Yeah.
The reason I understand the songs I sing, okay?
Yes.
Her?
Yeah.
Well, we had a bittersweet breakup, and I tried for years to make amends, and she ignored me for 30, 40 years, and I finally, all I knew is that she lived in Texas. So I go through Dallas. I park in this restaurant area, start singing for 2 hours because I can sing like a bandit now. And then I leave, and then I get rousted about 3 hours later by the cops. And I'm all freaked out because I just took an inhale of pot, right? So, oh, my God, I'm going to get my van towed or something, right? No, they let me go. So I'm all freaked out. And I go back to the place where I was singing, and I swear to God, there she was.
And you recognized her. Wow.
So she heard I was in town. She knew who I was, and she didn't tell me who she was, and I didn't realize it until a half hour after we stopped talking. But she's friendly to me. She's forgiving of me, and it's just amazing. I didn't even recognize her because, 50, 40 years will do a lot to you. But, God.
Does she have a lot of miles on her?
I only knew her for like 2 months. I never knew her real name until a year later.
Oh.
was a really strange. I have a tough love life, but I'm telling you, she's the woman that taught me the meaning of all the songs I sing. And
darn! Wow.
She popped up knowing I was in town to meet me, and she was friendly, forgiving, and kind. And I didn't realize it was her. And I was even kind of like, I'm too busy to talk, kind of like. I couldn't believe it, the way life's so ironic. Anyway, a little bit of that's on my website because I'm trying to reach out to her because I'm kicking myself.
Well,
that I didn't
do you have her phone number? Are you calling?
No, I don't know how. She's been avoiding me for 30 years, and now she comes out of the woodwork to say hi in a pleasant way.
Well, way to go. Way to go, Steve.
I'm telling you, man. So I'm going to be swinging by on my return trip in late April, and who knows what might happen.
God, well, congrats. That's really good news. How far are you going to go? Are you going to Florida, did you say? And one of the
Sarasota, Florida, where Stephen King lives he lives in a, believe it or not, a witness protection house on the edge of a key out there.
Yeah.
Private entrance, restricted, and all that stuff.
And you're gonna hang out there.
I'm gonna park out by the freeway that connects to his key. Stephen King is a murderer. It's true or he'd sue. You know, that kind of stuff. He can't sue, whatever. And sing around town and get the word out. See if I can get the local authorities to do anything about it. Go to the city council meetings and.
How long are you going to hang out there before you come back?
I'll be there for at least a month, and then I'm heading up north to New York. Well, yeah, New York, yeah.
God.
When I get to New York, you know what my big sign's going to be?
What?
Silent New York has no heart.
Wow.
So, like I love, the heart sign. I love New York, right? I heart New York. It's gonna say Silent New York has no drawing of a heart to rub it in their face.
Jeez.
They need it, man. They need it. I've been in New York, and they really need to have their senses smacked.
Yeah.
It's like to go to Strawberry Fields, like a bunch of bats sipping blood around a bowl when they visit Lenin's site. They're so sick.
Will you? I'm assuming you'll give us updates along the way. Yes.
Well, I'm telling you, man. I'm doing backflips in my heart right now. So.
Great.
Good. At least.
I think we lost Steve. Oh no, there you are. Okay, well listen, the signal's is getting a little flaky here.
Yeah, so. I'm driving through this Bourbon Street section, so.
Yeah. Okay. Boy, I wonder if they still have the Seaport Cafe on Bourbon Street. They had the best gumbo in the world there, and they even had a buffet. Now, I guess you don't have buffets anywhere in the country anymore because of COVID, but boy.
Right.
That
it's like
was
karaoke.
Yeah.
Right up.
Okay. Thanks for checking in and all the best
thank you,
to you.
Mike.
Okay. Have a good one. Next call will be, Margaret. Hi, Margaret.
Hi. Happy St. Valentine's Day next Sunday.
Yes, I bought my first Valentine's card, but I didn't sign it. But I didn't sign it. I was told you need to sign it or it doesn't mean anything.
You can be anonymous.
Yeah.
You could be Cupid. You can be a stupid Cupid. Hey, you just put glitter on it and, glue some lace on it. You got to add a homey touch,
right.
A crafty touch.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go to work on that.
So, here's my theme today. Other than wishing everybody a St. Valentine's Day and get working on your Valentines, how do I coup d'etat thee? Let me count the ways. Censorship, coup d'etat, do that. COVID and all its monstrous tyranny. Global cartel, coup d'etat, do that. Lockdowns. Small businesses transferred to the big box stores. Coup d'etat, do that. Voter fraud schemes engaged. Coup d'etat, do that. Hardcore. Medical fraud. Doctors getting $50K a week, nurses $10K a week. Hospitals closed. They're empty. Coup d'etat, do that. Hide identities like a bandit under a mask. Very creepy. Coup d'etat, do that. War troops returning to Syria. Who do that? Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo.
Well, that was quite a performance, Margaret.
Cuckoo.
Well, anyhow, how can we thank you for calling?
Cuckoo, 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 tita, cuckoo, tita.
Okay.
She needs some Cocoa Puffs.
All right, Cocoa Puffs, yeah. All right, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you next time here. Okay, Reva in Pacific Grove, you're on KSCO. How are you?
Hello. Very well, thank you. I'm not sure how to do this. Should I turn my radio down to talk to you?
Yes. Otherwise, you might get an echo. Yeah,
Okay,
in several
very
seconds.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
You should hear us when you're on hold, by the way. You should hear us, on the phone.
I do. I did. And so I'm coming in behind the gentleman that called and endorsed you to consider the governorship. And I would like to endorse you as well. And I'm a fairly recent listener to your station. I've become extremely fond of you all there. And I love the middle of the road basic, offerings that you all do, leaning more towards the conservative, which is how I feel about things. But, I've listened to a few of your, I guess you'd call them monologues or something like that, and they've come up throughout the middle of the day at different times when you've spoken out on something, and they are so eloquent that I have been tempted to write to you and let you know how powerfully well they are received on the other side of the radio, hearing them.
Oh, wow.
They're well, oh, yeah, they're very well thought out. They're very well, it's really quite exceptional. And, one of the things I really enjoy are the monologues of some of our Fox people. For example, Judge Janine is another power hitter as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah, and Laura Ingram's pretty good, and the other one is Jesse Waters. He does a beautiful job, too.
Yep.
You're right up there with them, my friend, and I don't know you too well, but you're the kind of person I really like. I just know I would like you.
I can feel my head growing so fat that I might not be able to get out of the door. But thank you for the kind words.
Well, but listen, it's not really from kindness. It's sort of self-serving, because as it would be for anybody who can understand this platform, is that you would be doing us a huge service to consider this. And I'll tell you, a couple of nights ago, I actually said to my partner, I said, my question was, well, what happens if we do recall Gavin, which I'm hoping desperately will happen for so many reasons? What would happen? In other words, how does he get replaced? Who moves into that position? And so I've since found out. And I thought, I told my partner, I said, you ought to run for governor, because he's very logical. He's just got the most wonderful logical thinking. And I know how far-fetched that sounded, but at the same time, it really isn't that far-fetched, because people from all walks of life are becoming senators and Congress people. I mean, there's several people in Congress right now that one lady, I saw an interview with her, she never even achieved her high school diploma, and she was working, I can't remember the story about her, but it was pretty interesting. And so everyday people are impassioned, and that's really what it's going to take to make a change. And I would worry about you. That's the only thing I would say there is that I think you would do us a world of good, but I would be concerned about you, because I think you are quite a sentimental guy and quite a sensitive man, it appears, from as I listen to you. But if you could really bolster it up and strengthen those muscles and run for a couple of years and get in there, I think you would do a fantastic job. I think it was a great idea. And I don't want you to poo-poo it and think it's just a little thing, and just it was a nice gesture on somebody's part. I think you have the mind to be able to straighten out a lot of the wrinkles that have gotten so much more so than wrinkles. They're like giant mountains now. Somebody has to be able to get in there and iron those out and explain to people how backwards what they're doing is. And we have to do it. I mean, somebody's going to have to speak. We cannot give up and allow them to overcome. This would just be the death of us.
Well,
So
Reva,
what's the lie?
you have made me speechless. But let me say this. That's sort of a silly thing.
Yeah.
I will. That's two. That's two people who said who've said I should consider running for governor.
It.
I will open an exploratory campaign. I will exploratory.
Good.
What do you call them?
Consider it.
Exploratory. A board of director. I don't know what they call it. You know what I'm talking about. And see if it's something that we should go down that road at all. Okay?
Well,
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I love that you're even considering it right now, and it's funny because it seems quite out of the blue to you, and it would be to me until the guy said it, and then I had to think and realize this is the time I need to call you and let you know how powerful those monologues have been over the last 6 months, 8 months that I've heard them. They have been powerfully good. And to have that on a local radio channel, I mean, I have since come to learn what KSCO is, it being a very unique station, that it's, privately owned, et cetera. And it makes it even that much more valuable. But the guy is right. The other thing I wanted to say is this. He mentioned all of the credentials and reasons why you could and should, if you were interested in doing that, why it would be a legitimate thought for you to do. But the other big one is that you have run this radio station. What has it been, like 30 years or something?
30 years last Sunday. 30 years last Sunday, yeah.
That is not an easy feat to stay in any business through all of those economic times that we've gone through over the last 30 years. You've held on and kept the radio station, apparently, to rise to the occasion that you are at now. So add to his descriptions of you that you also know how to run a business. And wasn't that Trump's best claim to fame for all of us? He got it. He knew what was involved, and I think you would too. And that is what's missing up there in Sacramento, is just foolhardiness and wastefulness in every way. And just add one more thing to the recall concern. There was also something, I'm assuming that it's accurate. There was $8 million was spent on billboards throughout California to say COVID, stay back 6 feet. Basically, billboards, saying the same thing that we hear every day, all the time, endlessly. Why would that we have needed $8 million worth? Oh, sorry, I think it was $80 million. I'm sorry, it's $80 million went towards billboards throughout California, which I've never seen, by the way, myself.
Oh, my God. Well, yeah.
Can you believe it? I mean, it's just, in other words, it's reckless and flagrant and blatant.
Maybe you should run for governor. Yeah, because you have all this information. Anyhow, thank you for calling. Our apologies to Nick and Don and Bon and Ben and a man from Capitola. We don't have any more time unless we kill the news, and we better not do that or it would kill us.